thanks for joining me for another Start to Finish Sunday video. I'm sorry I have been MIA from YouTube for such a long time, but now that the summer is over and things are slowing down, I hope to be able to get back to doing regular videos. So I'm here today to share with you a new product from Stampin' Up, and this is so new that it's not even in any of the catalogs yet. This is called the Envelope Punch Board, and it is available to order online, and you can use this to make, I believe it's 66 different size envelopes. So you can make your own envelopes that are perfectly coordinated with all your handmade cards and gifts, and it's really super easy. So I'm going to show you today how to use the envelope punch board, and I'm also going to be using this stamp from the new holiday catalog. It is called Magnificent Maple, and I can't seem to get enough of this stamp right now. This stamp, along with the sweater weather designer paper from also from the holiday catalog. So we are going to be using this stamp and that designer paper together to make a cute little 3x3 card today, and I'm going to show you how to make a custom envelope using the envelope punch board. So I'm starting with the card, and my card base is crumb cake. It is cut at 3x6, scored at 3, so we have a little 3x3 card. Okay, and then I have a piece of chocolate chip, and this measures 2 7/8 by 2 7/8, and a piece of the sweater weather designer paper, and this measures 2 3/4 square. And I'm just going to layer these all together to create my card base. It's going to look something like that. I have a little scrap of Very Vanilla, and I'm going to be stamping my Magnificent Maple stamp. And I'm going to use Tangerine Tango ink. I'll just go ahead and ink up my stamp. This ink pad really needs to be re-inked. It's one of the old style ink pads. And it's getting kind of dry, so I'll just stamp that down. Okay, looks great. And I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm going to cut out all the way around the leaf, leaving just a very small white border. And if you're going to be using the stamp and cutting the stamp out yourself, I have found from cutting out a bunch of these that the best thing to do is to actually cut the stem out first, and then cut out the leaf. It's a little bit easier to sort of hold on to and maneuver if you do it that way. Okay, so I went ahead and layered my card base together, and I cut out my little leaf, and it's just going to go right on the center, in the center of the card, just like that. But you can see that the stem of the leaf is going to be too small. Or too long, excuse me. So I'm just going to kind of lop that off at the bottom. My sentiment comes from this set. It's called Truly Grateful, and this is also from the holiday catalog, and I'm using this sentiment right here. It says Thankful For. Okay, I have a strip of Very Vanilla, and this measures a 1/2 inch wide, and I'm going to be stamping my sentiment using my Stamp-A-Ma-Jig. And I'm using Early Espresso ink. Okay, now I'm just going to trim this down a little bit so that it's centered. Now I'm just going to come in with my paper snips and just make little banner ends in both sides. I'm going to put my leaf on some dimensionals down to the end of this sheet of dimensionals. And you can see this really was a scrap piece of paper. And I'll just center this at the top of the card. Okay. And then I'm also going to put some dimensionals on my little banner. And that is going to go right here. Okay, and I'm just going to take a little piece of linen thread and tie it into a bow. And take my Tombow Mono multi-glue and put just a tiny dot right at the base of my leaf here. And I'll set the bow into that glue. Okay, here's my cute little 3x3 card, and now let's go ahead and make the coordinating envelope. Okay, so here's the envelope punch board again. And the way that you use this, first of all, is you want to come down here and find the size of the card. These columns right here, the first column on each of these rectangles is going to be the card size. Okay, so you can see here, here's where it says 3x3 envelope. The middle column is the size paper that you want to start out with. So for 3x3 envelope, we start with 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. And then this column is where you're going to score. So we are going to score at 2 5/8. So here's my 5 1/4 square piece of cardstock or piece of designer paper, and your measurements, I'm pretty sure, are always going to be square to start out with, no matter what size envelope you're making. So I'm going to take this top edge here, and I'm going to line it up with 2 5/8. And this is really nicely marked up here. It lists the eighths for you, so you don't have to count if you have trouble like I do with those 8ths and 16ths and whatnot. So you line that up at 2 5/8, and then you're gonna punch. And see, that creates that little notch right there. Okay, so let me get that back in because you don't want to move it yet. So it's lined up at 2 5/8. So you're going to punch, which I already did, punch, and then right in here, there's a little scoring tool. If I can get it out, here we go. Scoring tool here. So you're going to punch, and then you're going to score. And this is the scoring line here. Sometimes it's a little bit easier to find if you start from down below and score up. Okay, so you punch and score. Then you're going to pull this out. You're going to turn it 90 degrees. And there's this little thing sticking out right here, and you're going to line that up with the score line that you just created. It's going to be hard to see on camera with this designer paper, and I'm sorry if I'm getting my head in the shot, but I need to get close to it to line it up. So I'm lining this little point here up with the score line, and you're going to do the same thing. Punch and score. Turn it 90 degrees, line up that score line, punch, and score, and another 90-degree turn, line up the score line, punch, and score. Okay, so that is what the envelope looks like. Then we're gonna go ahead and fold on all our score lines. Make sure they're nice and crisp with our bone folder. And then you're gonna put your envelope together just like that. And now on some of them, this point here might stick up above. If it's a rectangle, if it's not a square, this point here might come up above these two flaps. And in that case, if you don't like the way that looks, you can just cut it off. You do want to use sticky strip for your homemade envelopes, especially if you're going to be putting them through the mail. So I'm just going to take a couple little pieces of sticky strip here. Line them up on my bottom flap. Okay, just take off the little adhesive backers here off my sticky strip. And then we will just fold that closed. Okay. And then one more step. Bring my envelope punch board back in, and if you use this top part of the punch here, you insert the flap of your envelope and punch, you're going to get a really nice rounded corner. I hope you can see that. And of course that is completely optional. You don't have to do that step if you don't want to, but I think it gives it just a really nice finished edge. So here you can see I have a cute little 3x3 envelope. Isn't that adorable? And my little 3x3 card, look at how great that coordinates perfectly. My little 3x3 card just will fit right inside there. So here's my finished little 3x3 card set with matching envelope, and you can see I added just one little touch to finish off the inside. I cut a piece of very vanilla cardstock and I stamped just the word you from the thank you sentiment from a set called For You, which is one of my favorite greetings. And then I used the coordinating paper that we made the envelope out of, and I punched out a small heart punch. So now our card says, thankful for you. So thank you very much for joining me for today's video. I hope that you enjoy this project. If you have any questions, please let me know. And remember that the envelope punch board that we used today is available to order, although you will not see it in any of the catalogs that you may have. So go to my website, which is in the link down below this video. The link is in the description. And you can order it from there. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. And until next time, happy stampin'. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.